I want to welcome you all, and let's start by asking, what is it that you want to hear today? Because I have a prepared message, but this is in order for us to just have an agenda for the day. Now, if you want to know what is it that you want to cover today before you engage us, we will try to talk to you about the literature review, the variables, and the technical referencing. And of course, just a little bit on the units of analysis. But this is not a lecture. This is a facilitated workshop. So that then means a lot of information that we want to share with you. You will be the ones who are engaging us as much as you can. So it is your session, and it is for you to really take as much as possible in your own understanding, so that at least when you deal with this subject called research, you're all comfortable, and you're also able to make contributions that are sufficient for you to move into the next level. Remember, you are entering into the space that we say it's scientific space. So this is an empirical environment where you be expected to understand systematic observation, control, and replication, which are the principles of research. And of course, you are welcome to engage us on matters of authority, opinions, traditions, debates, and accidental observations, because it is only when you do the engagement that we'll be able to help each other on the systematic, the scientific realm of what you are all about. So if you can just remember that in the scientific space, these are the three principles that we rely on: the systematic observation, control, and replication, then we should be okay. So that in a way is just to introduce the discussion for today. But I'm sure as students, you definitely do have some issues that you'd like us to debate and to engage on to assist each other. So remember, as we speak, this is also part of the workshop. So you are at the point where you will all be at different levels of learning. So it is okay to be at the beginning of it, but also in the middle of it, or somewhere where you are either confused or very clear. So let's get on with it. Any comment, any reflection, any idea of what is it that you would like clarity on? And I think the last time we were more talking about your assignment and issues that you feel needs to be engaged upon. So I opened the platform for that engagement.
For me, it's just like a reflection from the session that we had, as it last week. So I just went back to my assignment because remember last week I was a bit overwhelmed. So I just went back and then just did my due diligence, and then I went through the articles. So I'm happy to say that at least I see light at the end of the tunnel. And then yeah, I'm just busy going through my assignment now just to make sure that I complete at least maybe by next week.
Wow, you now seen the end, the light at the end of the tunnel. That's interesting.
Yes.
Share with us the light, Mandy.
Okay,
We
so for
also
me, remember,
we want to
I
be where you are.
remember I was struggling with the topic that we got. So I was still struggling to identify like the variables. I was also still trying to understand what do I need to do on this assignment exactly. So I just after the session that we did, so I just went back. I had to reread the articles again, and then I just had to focus mainly on the topic that was provided, just so that I can be able to identify those variables and also be able to draft my material like properly.
Okay, that's more broad. And if I'm a student now, who wants to go do this work? I'm not sure whether this is detailed enough. Would you mind to just speak more in the details of the research work that you have done? It sounds like you did a good job, but if I am now, that is, I mean, Mamkhele, maybe I'm coming to hear this for the first time, and I'm like, what is it that was been done? I'm not sure whether the procedural discussion that you've just, the issues that you're raising are clear enough, but it sounds like you did some good work. Do you mind to get into some small details just to assist me so I can also, as a student, go and do something? I know it's too much to ask, but yeah, if you can be a little specific, maybe.
Okay, so I don't know exactly what you want me to say, but what I'll just maybe try to answer, and then you just let me know if I'm out of the track.
Yes.
So this is
Yes.
what I did. So remember, we are given like articles that we need to read through. I think there are 6 or 5, if I'm not mistaken. So I had to go
Okay.
through those articles. I had to read them, like each and every article.
Oh, so
So that I
you were
can,
going through, let's do literature review. You've got 6 articles. So you were
yes,
going, you were rereading them.
yes. So I had to
So you
reread
went,
them.
okay, all right.
Yeah. So because the brief was that so our literature review must be like we must also look at into those articles and maybe include 2 or 3 articles that we had to like search or that we can find. So for me, I started with the 5
Okay.
articles that we were given. So I had to go through them just maybe to understand what the article is all about. What are they saying on those articles? What are the key things that I could use on my literature review? And then,
Okay.
so based on the article, so as I was looking at the topic that we were given, I was able to identify the variables because I had to go back to the prescribed what do you call the prescribed book to read the difference between the the variables. So I had to find out which one is dependable and which one is not dependable. So I was just going through it just to understand what do they say when they say variables. So that's what I did. I think hence I'm saying that at least I have an idea as to where am I going with this assignment.
Okay. There's a very important thing you said there about rereading the literature. In other words, going through it again. What did you, in the rereading part, and I'm just using it as, please don't be too strict about it, just the rereading part. What did you pick up, if
So
anything?
So what I've picked up, like from what I had initially started on my article versus the articles that we give. So from my literature review,
Mm,
so I've
mm.
noticed that I had like problems like in terms of the referencing as well as paraphrasing, because yesterday we also had another class or workshop where they were just giving us indication as to like the correct way to paraphrase, the correct way to cite, to reference, and so for me, I had like a bit of struggle with paraphrasing because like I'll just maybe change one word or maybe just one paragraph on the sentence where like we advise, or it's not advisable to do that. Rather maybe read the whole paragraph or whatever the case is, understand it and put it in your own words than to maybe change just small things, because it will look like it's just like a copy and paste of someone's work.
Okay, that's you are taking over this this workshop, which I love it. So when you reread, and with the workshop that you had, now it was about paraphrasing and the correct referencing.
Hmm.
What is the, I mean, rereading the same literature, you got to understand, I'm sure, the material better.
Yes, I did.
In other words, you are able to say, look, I read this the first time, maybe I read it the second time, but this time around when I'm reading it, because now I know how to do certain things, I'm reading it with a better understanding of what I need to do. Would you agree?
Yes, because when I was reading the first time, I was just reading it in a rush, like just trying to finish so that I can be able to go back to my assignment. So as I was doing that, I was just basically shooting myself on the foot, because what I was doing, I was not reading it, like as in terms of like understanding. I was just reading for the sake of reading so that I just pass that and then go back to my assignment. So after that, I had to reread, like in terms of understanding what the research is saying, so that I can be able to put it in my own words to prepare my own literature review.
Sounds interesting. So you have now reread the work, which is part of the literature review that you conducted, and you now have been taken through paraphrasing and referencing, right? What
Yes.
would you paraphrasing and the referencing then?
Sorry, can you please repeat that?
Now that you reread the work and you have been taken through some paraphrasing, but also some referencing, what would you say? How would you then say this has helped you in paraphrasing, and how did you do it when you compare the first time you did it and the second time, or the now that you've gone through what you've gone through? Is there a difference?
Yeah, there's a difference, because the first time when I was doing the paraphrasing, like I was just only changing like your minor things. Like I wasn't like, for example, I will just maybe look at the paragraph in the article, and then I'll just write it, but only change like your small, if maybe they said um uh I don't know how to put it, but if maybe, for example, they said important, I would find a synonym of important. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh,
Change
okay.
it,
So
yeah, change it.
it will be the same, but you just change one word
Yes,
from the. Oh, I see.
yeah.
And then
So
how do
now,
you? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I
so
interrupted.
now, yeah. So now at least I'm able to change, like I'm able to write the paragraph like in a different manner, where like I'm only changing like small things, so I can be able to maybe write it in my own understanding, like the way I understand it, or the way I think it makes sense. I don't know if I
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I hear you. Okay. That now what referencing system did you use, or did you get subjected to?
Well, in my mind, I always had the APA referencing method, but
Mhm.
because from previous courses that I was doing, like I just assumed that the reference is just gonna be the same. So with that AP in mind, like I was just not necessarily sure, like because I have also seen that there was this other information, the what do you call, the information that was given under the additional resource, where they were when they were referencing, they'll put, for example, they'll put the author surname, they'll put the year as well as the page number. So those that was confusing me. So I didn't understand, or do I also need to put the page number? So what happens, like when you put page number, what why should we put, like I'm still trying to figure out, when we put page number, what happens when we don't put page numbers?
I see. So, but where you are right now, you are now able to at least do basic referencing, right?
Yes.
You just
I
want
still
to
need to
know
go back.
yeah, you
Yeah.
just need to make sure that you are clear on the APA versus the other types of other
Yes.
methods of referencing. Now,
Yes.
when you were doing it the second time around, when you were going through your own work, right? You did pick up those improvement areas that needed improvement, and you improved on your work. How did that make you feel?
Well, I wouldn't lie. It made me feel like good about it. Like it also gave me like motivation just to keep on writing, because at first, like I would write like one paragraph and then maybe just leave it for like an hour or whatever, and then do what I need to do in the house or at work, and then come back to it. But ever since the workshop from yesterday, at least I have the momentum. Like as soon as I start to write, I push. I enjoy writing. If I yeah, I enjoy
Oh,
writing.
great stuff. No, that makes us happy. Now, obviously, you have touched on important elements of what we are going to talk about today. Mandy, thank you for that. We will really now try to see if we can cover these areas in a manner that help other students. But thanks for sharing with us how you have seen you said you've seen the light, but there's still more lights to be shared, I'm sure, and more lights to be seen. But at least the beginning of the process for you has given you something, some hope, good hope for you to look forward to. Is there anybody who'd like to compliment what Mandy has said? I mean, you spoke about rereading, she spoke about tracing, she spoke about referencing, she spoke about, just going through the work again compared to how she did it the first time.